Under the night sky of eastern Ukraine, at exactly 4:46 a.m. October 26th, silence turned to thunder. A wave of precision-guided missiles tore through the darkness and slammed into a Russian logistics hub near Luhansk. Seconds later, the ground erupted. Fireballs leapt into the air, lighting the horizon like sunrise. Warehouses collapsed into ash. Armored transports melted in place. Within minutes, the entire complex was gone. What looked like just another strike was, in truth, a staggering blow, the destruction of one of the largest North Korean arms shipments ever sent to Russia, worth an estimated $2.2 billion. For months, Ukraine's intelligence network had been piecing the puzzle together. Strange train convoys from Siberia, encrypted Russian communications, and satellite glimpses of cargo containers marked with North Korean coast. What began as whispers of a secret arms deal became undeniable proof of a growing partnership between Moscow and Pyongyang. The cache included long-range artillery shells, surface-to-surface missiles, and an advanced variant of the Hwasong-11 short-range ballistic missile. Russia had planned to deploy them along the Donbass front. Ukraine decided to erase them first. The hit did more than cripple Moscow's firepower. It devastated Pyongyang's fragile economy. North Korea's defense industry, running under severe international sanctions, depends almost entirely on foreign contracts to survive. Every shipment represents months of labor, years of investment, and the hard currency Kim Jong-un's regime desperately needs. Losing this single batch was like wiping out a large portion of the country's annual arms revenue and exposing its most secret partnership to the world. Satellite images from October 25th's aftermath told the story clearly. The hub was gone, acres of scorched ground where rows of warehouses once stood. Dozens of vehicles, including missile launch trucks, were reduced to twisted metal. Secondary explosions went on for hours, proving how much ammunition had been stored there. Analysts reviewing the infrared data said the heat signature matched that of detonating warheads and propellant tanks. In short, destruction. What made the strike extraordinary wasn't just the impact, but the coordination behind it. Ukrainian special operations teams had slipped into the area days earlier, feeding real-time drone footage back to command centers. The missiles were guided in with pinpoint precision, each strike hitting exactly where the feed directed it. The attack was timed to perfection, just before dawn, when visibility was low but surveillance clear enough to confirm every hit. The result was devastating accuracy. For Russia, it was a humiliating failure. The Kremlin had heavily publicized its alliance with North Korea, calling it proof of global solidarity against the West. Now, that alliance lay in ruins. Videos of the explosions flooded social media. Russian military bloggers, usually loyal to Moscow, were furious. One of the costliest intelligence failures of the war, one wrote. The Ministry of Defense and the FSB reportedly turned on each other, each blaming the other for the leak that led to the strike. Pyongyang's reaction was panic behind propaganda. State media first called the reports Western lies, but evidence forced a quiet admission. Inside North Korea's rigid system, failure is dangerous. Kim Jong-un personally ordered an investigation, demanding to know how Ukraine had found the shipment. Several senior Ministry of Defense officials were reportedly fired. The regime's tightly controlled news outlets went silent for days before denouncing the strike as imperialist sabotage. But the damage was done, both financial and political. Behind the scenes, this victory was the product of months of patient intelligence work. Ukraine's Defense Intelligence Directorate, working with Western partners, had mapped the entire route of the shipment. Cyber units intercepted coded Russian messages referring to special cargo and priority fuel, matching patterns of missile transport convoys. Satellite imagery then tracked container loads with North Korean markings moving through the Kasan-Tumangang railway crossing into Russia. From there, a military convoy carried them southwest toward Luhansk. Ukrainian drones and human informants followed it all the way. The decision to strike was not made lightly. Ukraine knew that destroying this target would expose Moscow and Pyongyang's secret dealings, but leaving it untouched meant those same weapons would soon rain down on Ukrainian cities. Once the final drone confirmed the depot's position, the missiles were launched. The explosions were so powerful that seismic monitors in Dnipro registered tremors. Kyiv stayed silent at first, letting satellite photos and online footage speak for themselves. Only after international outlets confirmed the incident did Ukraine issue a short statement, calling it a planned operation against foreign-supplied weapons, fueling Russia's aggression. Western intelligence agencies praised the precision and coordination, calling it one of the most successful interdiction missions of the war. In Moscow, chaos followed. Defense officials scrambled to explain how such a valuable shipment had been left exposed. The Kremlin tried to downplay the losses, then threatened retaliation, but the images of the burning depot told the truth. Russia's winter campaign planning collapsed overnight. Artillery units reported immediate shortages, and commanders began rationing ammunition. On the front lines, morale fell further. Soldiers realized that even their deepest supply lines were not safe. For Pyongyang, the loss was catastrophic. North Korea's defense exports are the regime's lifeblood, bringing in the money it cannot earn elsewhere. Factories already strained by shortages of steel, chemicals, and electronics now faced impossible replacement orders. Economists estimate it could take years to rebuild production to pre-strike levels. Worse, the exposure of its deal with Russia made it harder to find new customers. Governments that had quietly bought North Korean arms before now feared getting caught. In Seoul and Tokyo, the strike set off alarms. It proved North Korea wasn't just a regional threat. It was a global arms supplier feeding major wars. Both countries increased intelligence sharing with NATO and expanded satellite coverage of the Korean peninsula. Beijing, meanwhile, responded with silence, though Chinese media noted the dangerous escalation. For China, the strike was an uncomfortable reminder that its two key allies, Russia and North Korea, were growing more volatile and vulnerable. Western capitals, however, viewed the operation as a breakthrough. Officials in Washington and London privately described it as a masterclass in modern hybrid warfare. The strike proved that a smaller nation, when armed with data and precision, could dismantle a global weapons network. NATO analysts began referring to Ukraine's approach as intelligence-driven warfare, a model where surveillance and strategy outweigh brute force. Ukraine has demonstrated that information, not just firepower, defines victory in the 21st century. The diplomatic fallout deepened. Russia demanded North Korea replace the lost shipment. North Korea accused Russia of negligence. The fragile trust between them began to crack. Meanwhile, Ukraine presented evidence of the arms deal at the United Nations, arguing that both nations had violated sanctions. Russia vetoed any resolution, but it couldn't stop the humiliation. The world was no longer focused on Ukraine's vulnerability, but on its capability. The psychological impact on Russian troops was profound. The message was clear. No target, no matter how deep inside occupied territory, was beyond reach. Ukrainian strikes had become sharper, faster, and more surgical. The days of safe stockpiles were over. In North Korea, Kim's government faced rare internal dissent from military officials frustrated by the losses and growing isolation. For Ukraine, the operation carried more than tactical weight. It was a moral boost. The country that had spent years enduring missile strikes had just destroyed the supply chain feeding those very attacks. Citizens flooded social media with images and messages of pride. Officials remained measured, framing the success as proof that discipline and intelligence win wars, not luck. Every missile stopped before launch saves lives, one official said simply. The strike on October 26th at 4:46 a.m. became more than a headline. It became a turning point. It showed that Ukraine could not only defend itself, but shape the war's future. It also exposed the fragility of the so-called anti-Western alliance binding Russia, North Korea, and Iran. If Ukraine could dismantle one link, others might follow. Already, reports suggested Tehran was delaying new drone shipments, fearing interception. The domino effect had begun. Weeks later, analysts were still dissecting the operation. Some compared it to the Allied raids that shattered Axis supply chains in World War II. Others saw it as the first glimpse of a new kind of warfare, one fought not just on the ground, but in data streams and orbiting satellites. Either way, the lesson was clear. Secrecy no longer guarantees safety. For decades, North Korea sold weapons from the shadows, trusting in distance and deniability. Russia believed the partnership could operate beyond reach. Ukraine proved both wrong. In one fiery moment, it exposed a global network built on lies and desperation, and sent a warning to every nation fueling the Kremlin's war. As dawn rose over the wreckage near Luhansk, the fires were still burning. The air shimmered with heat and smoke. Somewhere, Ukrainian analysts logged the confirmation. Target neutralized earlier October 26th. The operation was complete, but its meaning would echo far beyond that smoldering field. The explosion at 4:46 a.m. October 26th was not just the destruction of weapons, it was the destruction of an illusion that Russia's alliances could protect it, that North Korea's secrecy could shield it, and that Ukraine would always be one step behind. That illusion died in the fire. From that night, the balance of power began to shift. Ukraine has shown the world what modern resilience looks like. Not brute strength, but clarity, patience, and precision. The depot may have been reduced to ashes, but in its place, a message burned brighter than ever. No alliance built on deception can survive in the age of truth and technology.